What's up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and Dope Living TV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl, Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Trench in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl, Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Greg Gray, Dope Living TV live. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. I wouldn't like to see any one of y'all try to read that without a card. Say it the right way. The views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. Man, I'm good. Good at what I do. So today we are talking about the N-word. And it will probably be thrown around a whole bunch on the show tonight. Trust me. And the new word, which is the K word. I'm not gonna say no more. Let me bring home my girl Gina.
I like those words. N-word, nice. K-word, kind. Yes.
Somebody done told you wrong. Somebody done told you wrong. Ain't that right, like Coach Jeff? Somebody done told you wrong.
That's all I got to say about tonight.
I don't know, man. What's up, Mo?
What's going on, man?
Mo B, what's good?
Hey, Mo. Hey,
funny,
Jeff.
man. It's funny when he got Maurice Bishop Sr. written down here, I call him Mo B. Then when he got Mo B up there, I
call him Maurice.
You're confused.
Yeah, I'm out of town. You know what? I'm out of town on my laptop.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Man, it's rough.
How y'all doing?
Everybody's
good.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Say what's up to the calm of the show, Kevin.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, Mac, what's going on, brother?
Family.
We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Ooh, this gonna be some stuff on here today.
Some stank on
It
it.
looks like somebody trying to filter this out already.
This gonna be some. Hey, Tree.
Hey, Tree.
What's going on, Tree?
So I want to say what's up to all my knuckles out there. What's up? Well, I mean, let's get it started. So, a lot of people who don't understand where it came from, an N-word is a mud, right? Mm-hmm. It's viewed as a derogatory racial slur to some. Now, these kids have taken the word and it's a greeting. It's cool. It's a greeting.
Yeah, what's up, my N-word?
I'm gonna tell you too.
Yeah.
I went to when my son was in college. I went to his college just to hang out, and everybody walking around saying, I'm talking about Indians, Arab people, everybody, the colors all over the place. What's up? What's up, my nigga? What's up? And I'm looking. I'm like, hold on, bro. Hold on. And my son was like, Dad, chill out. I said, what? He said, everybody greet everybody. It ain't racial. I said, the hell it ain't, okay? And I took my phone out and started taking pictures. Everybody said it. I said, because when my son ain't around, I'm gonna come up there and I'm gonna whoop all y'all ass. All right?
Oh, man, he let him know.
I did. I told him. I wasn't playing. Y'all should know me by now. I don't hold my mouth. But now they got this word for the racist white women, Karen.
Yeah.
The K word. I said the K word. I mean, it's
K-word.
Karen. It's not as, it don't sound as bad as the N word.
Mm.
So, I mean, personally, the Karen, I don't think that's derogatory or racial. Me, personally, what y'all think about
Well,
Well, go ahead, Gina. Speak your
now
piece
I'm
on
gonna let
Karen.
you. I'm gonna let you go ahead,
You'll let
Coach.
me speak my piece on
Go
Karen? I'm going to
ahead,
speak my
Coach.
piece on Karen. Look here. I feel, Karen started off as something funny. You know what I mean? It was a little funny joke or whatever. But then, as these overly emotional white women that we saw on social media started acting a fool, and it was racially motivated. A lot of it was racially motivated. You know what I mean? The term Karen just kind of fell into the lap. Now, I don't think it's derogatory being descriptive of what we're saying, what we're calling it. You know what I mean? Karen is a racist, a woman who shows racist tendencies, a racist white woman. So I don't believe that it's derogatory in that sense and holding up that same weight as the N-word. Now, let Karen sit up here and call me the N-word, I'm going to have something to say. You know what I mean?
Okay, but ain't that double standard though, bro? You can call her Karen because and it's derogatory, but if she says, well, the N word to you,
Man,
Well, is she showing the racial tendency? Is it racially motivated? She's not a Karen.
racially
She's not a
motivated?
Karen if it's not racially motivated.
Is the Karen racially motivated?
Come on now, Coach.
I'm saying if she's racially
Come
motivated,
on. If somebody walked,
hey,
if a Caucasian person walked up to you and say, "Hey, N word,"
Becky.
you, no matter how they say it, when they say it, what place they say it in, you're gonna take it as that.
Well, that ain't what I said. I didn't say that if she just comes up and say the N word that she's not a Karen. No, that is a Karen because she called me the N word. But if she doesn't call me the N word and she just kind of just wilding out, acting a fool, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna deem it as such to say it that way. You know what I mean?
So she can't call you the N word, but you can call her Karen.
Yeah, because I earned that right, damn it. Because we've been dealing with this long enough. I earned that right, damn it. Any white person watching could be mad as hell at me. I'm being for real. Your ass gonna be Karen. I said my piece. I love you.
Hey, Tree says, yeah, at my daughter's school, majority of students are white people, and they continuously say the N word, and it's bad to the point she asked me how to handle it because she's offended and don't like it at all. Kevin, what you think about that?
Well, the first thing we got to do on both of the conversations, that they're both a racial driveling bias title that's associated with an act that puts someone's life in jeopardy, and that's what we got to look at.
Right.
When you look at the fact that the reason why the word either with the ER or AR was created is because of the mispronunciation of Southern people couldn't say it. So that's where it came around for the history. Karen was adapted through white people creating a sense of humor of a situation falsely accusing a person of color or melanated skin of an act he or she did not commit, and strictly because of the way the system was set up, the heavy hand of the law was enforced. You were guilty until proven innocent. If you look back through the years, the Jonesboro boys that were riding on the train were falsely accused of raping a white woman. We just had Roosevelt Glenn that was incarcerated for 17 years of his life for a crime he didn't commit. That technically was a Karen enforced by the law. The N-word is not a word that should be endeared as a term of endearment. It's recognizing Jeff, Mo, Kevin, Gina as saying my whatever. We have to understand where our history came from. The N-word was a way to identify slaves or people that were less than animals, and that's where it comes from. When you look at the fact that in Arkansas, 327 men and women and children were hung, and there's a tree that's named after that, and they took Polaroid pictures standing with them like they were deer trophies, just because they were sent from Boston back down to the South when they were freed, and they were begging because they had no home to live in order to go back to work. And that's where carpetbaggers came up with. So both words, when you think about using either one of them, you got to understand your history. And anyone that's using the word as a term of endearment to another person is not recognizing the history exists, and they're actually putting their people down and saying it's a good thing, because now we now taking possession back. Both words, especially the N word, should not be used in any form or anyone else, because if you look at it in our own social circles, we use it amongst ourselves. We're confusing the lighter and brighter people because they think, oh, it's cool, we can say it, but we will wring their necks if they say it in the wrong place.
Right. So Maurice, you down in Memphis? That's where it used to be really bad down there. Okay.
Memphis is still bad.
I know you're in Nashville, but
yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Tennessee is Klan Central. This is where the Klan began. So I'm not in Tennessee right now. Right now, I'm in Arkansas, where he was just talking about. So I'm just a little bit past Little Rock, and I'm in a room, and I'm thinking, man, right now that word has caused a lot of life and death stuff. The Karen word, I mean, she's probably killed just as many people as the police have, if you think about it, and incarcerated just as many, just by calling the police on something. And I'm gonna tell you something, I'd get pissed too if somebody called the police when I'm just walking up to my house. I'd get so shitty, man. I'd be all over the TV. I would be really shitty. I mean, I keep thinking about when I was growing up, you used to get a word for using nigger. You used to get a whooping, in my family for using it. I mean, in a lot of other families I knew was growing, especially if they grew up in the church,
So Chris, why do we use that? We as black people, everybody say what's up to Chris, by the way.
Hey,
but
Chris.
why do we use that as
Oh,
a
you
greeting?
know I won't go miss this. Go ahead, G. You know I won't go miss this.
Why do we use that as a greeting?
So the real reason why we use it as a greeting is our culture takes what's done to us and make it our own power, is what we do. Now I'm gonna have to correct Kevin just a little bit, because if we know our history, we know exactly where the word came from. So that's the systemic history, what Kevin was talking about, of what we learned in school from slavery and things before that. I mean, things from then to now. But before that, it was actually meant, it's an Ethiopian word, which is meant for kings and queens.
Nice.
That's what the term exactly comes from. You know what I'm saying? Everything that they tried to do with us, from taking us from our homeland, we have taken that and turned it around. I don't want to say we accepted it, but it's kind of like an exception. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit. Because when we talk about it, it's a natural conversation now.
Not in my house.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So like even the documentary of Richard Pryor, when he stopped using the word, once he went to Africa, you know what I'm saying? He's like, I would never call a black person that again. He should have stayed a little bit longer, and he would have known we weren't black people either. But that's another day and another time. But we just use it because that's what they call us, so we're gonna take what they call us and make it powerful for us. That makes it stand for us.
Okay.
So I understand what Kev is talking about, that term in endearment. It's really not a term of endearment, but
it's kind of like a 99
right. Until we learn our history, we won't ever get it right.
So Chris, you saying a strange white guy walked up to you after you listened to his tape and go, "Hey, Chris, yo, nigga, what's up?" That's okay.
And you know what I say? You know exactly what I say to him? Actually, the word nigger is really not a color. It's an act. So a nigger is a dumb person. That's what we were considered as. That's what it was meant for.
Exactly.
So when someone that's not my color come up to me and say that, I say, a nigger is an ignorant, dumb person. And who's acting like a nigga now?
Now,
that's what I've said it before. And I've said it before to people that called me that.
Okay, so go ahead, Gina. I'll ask my question.
No, I want to talk about the other term. It's NECCA, correct?
AR.
Yeah. ER is their term. A is our term.
So there are still individuals that feel like that term is derogatory as well because it's very close to the N word.
It's more older people that thinks that word is derogatory because what they went through physically thinks it's derogatory. Younger people don't think it's derogatory because they've been hearing it their whole lives of people that look like them.
So it's cool to say.
You see what I'm saying? And when they sit and when they hear my fault, G, and when they hear for someone that don't look like them, that's when they have a problem with it, which is a double standard.
It's a double.
What
standard.
Kevin was talking about earlier. My fault, G. Go ahead.
No, I mean you said exactly what I was going to say. It's a double standard, but is it okay to say for we're in a conversation, we got white. I'm not going to say friends, but we got white associates, and we all in a conversation. What if he says Negro, please? So,
honestly, to me, when white people say bro, I think they're calling me nigga in their head. I do.
No substitute word.
Well,
yeah.
I want to comment on the K word.
I hate the word bro.
I don't
from another race. I hate that word bro. Bro. It's, to me, it feels like they're saying nigga without saying nigga to me.
But I call you little bro.
No, I'm talking about from a different race.
I know what you're talking about. I know.
Like they come up and they be like, bro.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I think it's that. I think when they say it, sometimes it's more of a let me test the water to see if he cool, if I can be cool with him, and they want to get into I want to get into his. He seems like a cool guy, so I want to get into his atmosphere, his thing. So he's going to say bro and see if you say anything about it. Okay, he ain't gonna say the N word, but there are some that will test you. They got really comfortable. Y'all sitting around, y'all talking, y'all go bowling, y'all go shoot pool, and this and that, and it slip out. Okay.
So let me just say this: when I used to do the feeding the homeless stuff with he tried to make it a black caucus. That's what he tried to do, and we had some people that wasn't us that was there, and he was just flowing the word around freely, and I had to step away from the whole situation because I can't be a part of this. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do something of that nature, you really have to know your surroundings and know how to act. Not even act. You just not have to know how to present yourself in front of people that's not like you, because that's what they're going to see you are as if they see you doing that in front of them. It's just giving them more fuel to the fire to do what they do and do what they say and be able to say it in the long run.
So why are we cool with in our circle saying the N word, and we don't hear like Chinese people saying, and again, views expressed on this WTV live are not necessarily views WTV or its affiliate, saying, yo, what's up, my chink? Or the Indians saying, oh, what's up, my dot head?
But they do though.
Do they?
Yes. Like even when it comes to Mexicans and, well, let me just not say Mexicans. When it comes to Latinos, they be like, yo, wetback. They do all that, bro.
That's true. They do the same thing we do.
Yeah, they do the same thing
we
do.
They do the same thing we do.
They do
we
the
just
exact
can't say
same
it to them.
I've never heard.
There's not tied to a history of slavery.
It actually is.
It's social biases.
Yeah, but it actually is though, because if you really, that's why when I gave y'all the hidden colors, if you actually really look at the first one, you could just look at the first one. It explains everything. When you first went to Japan, it was black people there.
Yep.
That's why when you go to Japan and look at their statues, their big nose, big lips. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you went to even when you go over to not Trinidad, it's
Ethiopia.
Yeah, Ethiopia too, but no, it's the closer country.
Hammond.
Gary.
Yeah, that's a country for sure. But, it's where they dropped them off first before they came to the U.S. I just put it that way. They have the same thing, the same statues. You know what I'm saying?
Spain?
Yeah, even in Hawaii. Hawaii has the same statues. Before it was Samoans and all that, it was us. You know what I'm saying? So It's we're a part of all cultures there is. The first ninja statue that was made was of a black person. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know that because we wasn't taught that in high school. We wasn't taught that in history. We was taught about slavery up until now.
Well, we've always been taught that we're subservient. We've never been taught that we were kings and queens.
Exactly. Exactly. And that originally, like I said, and it's spelled Negus, pronounced pretty much almost the same. Yes, but it's the Ethiopian term for kings and queens.
So why are they? Well, you know, and we want to talk about the Karen word too.
The who?
Karen.
Karen. K
Real
word.
quick, Byron says, I called bigots saltines for years. And he says Samoans are just some more N-words. That's true. I got a video that Gina shared with me.
Hey, my fault, G. I've been running around all day since 5 o'clock this morning. I meant to send you the video of KRS-One talking about the origin of the word.
Yeah.
Maurice, what you got there, bro?
Yep. This was I'm just looking at YouTube. It's an untold history. King of Negus of Ethiopia.
Yes. Yeah, that's what kings and queens are called in Ethiopia. It's called Negus.
Hello, Negus.
Maurice, that's the term you use. Am I correct?
Negus.
Yeah.
But some people may view that as derogatory.
Well, I subset it as kings and queens. I always say king, queen. I mean, my king, my king, my king. You know, I always say that behind it.
So y'all are educating me because I just say the word. I don't say it all. I mean, I just say it in joke when I'm joking. I don't call my brothers and sisters the N-word. I don't do that. All right. But when I do tell jokes or do a stand-up or something, I might use the word once or twice, but I don't use it in terms of talking about somebody per se. I use it in a comedic way. Let's play this video. Go ahead, Kevin. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I was asked by one of my athletes that happened to be white, you know, about the word, you know, why can't we use it? You know, they say it in the music and they repeat it. And I said, go to South Philly and start singing it. And you'll know if it's right or wrong.
If you get out of South Philly.
There you go. Right?
Yeah.
You bumping it in your car. You ain't saying the whole word. And the car is saying the word. You might not get out of South Philly.
And see, that brings up a whole new conversation as well, man. If we don't want anybody saying it, why do we keep perpetuating the word in our music, in our movies, all of this stuff? Okay,
we can talk about that after you show the video. I got a whole dissertation on that.
Absolutely. This is, I don't know what the title is on this, but I'm gonna throw it on here. We'll be right back. DoperliveTV Live.
Tonight's frequently awkward question from a Port Orchard viewer. I find the N-word to be quite offensive. I don't use it, but why does that word seem to be perfectly okay for African Americans to use within their own group? The answer from King 5 race consultant and co-founder of Cultures Connecting, Caprice Hollins.
There's a lot of division, even in the Black community, about whether or not that word is appropriate. As a woman who's always been small, I would never make any comments about someone who's overweight. Right? I don't understand the pain that comes with that. I don't understand any suffering, the discrimination that comes with it. If a person is overweight and makes a joke about themselves or makes a joke about weight, that's for them to do. And that's for them to question whether or not that's an okay thing to do. But someone on the outside of that experience, I would never say anything about someone's weight, because I have no idea what that's like to live my life as a person in a country that discriminates against full-bodied people.
I don't even know I played that. Okay, she didn't even say nothing about the N-word.
I don't know where that came from.
To big people.
She did compare. She started off.
That was just another bias.
It was a comparison she was doing.
Yeah. That was Marcella's cousin.
Oh Lord,
she's not here, so you can't do that.
She's not here to defend herself, man.
I don't care. I'll say it again when she get back. But now the booker says, yes and yes, teach kings Let that speak for itself. The world opens up, period. Carl says, isn't that what the industry promotes? Go ahead, Chris. You want to say something about that? You got to unmute.
Say that again.
I said you want to say something about what?
Using it in words. Using it in music. So
yeah, that's the question. Isn't that what the industry promotes?
It does promote, but you got to realize this too. Movies promote it also.
Yeah,
and they're not getting RICO charges against acting in the movie. See, what we have to understand is all of that is entertainment. But like I said, man, I didn't have this conversation with KRS-One on plenty of occasions, and he basically broke it down. Like, if I see Kevin out and about, and I say, "What up, my dog?" You're not thinking of a four-legged creature. You see what I'm saying? When you say the N-word, even though they use it in different manners in music, but when we say the N-word, when we say it to one another, we're not thinking of people hanging from trees.
Exactly.
We're thinking of, oh, that's my brother.
I don't feel that way. I don't feel
that way either.
But the thing about it is like this. You know what I'm saying? If I said the N-word to you, Kevin, you're not thinking about people hanging from trees.
I would basically say let's pick another conversation to address it.
I think what Chris is saying is he's looking at it like
because it's not used in that sense of the way the white people used it for us.
Yeah, see, you guys gotta understand. I'm a lot older than you, so that word, what was a word that was used in order to torture us, beat us down, and
you got to realize this, Kevin. I'm from Indiana, brothers. I went to Bloomington, brother.
I know nothing.
Totally playing in our backyard.
I have no idea what that's like.
It's totally different in Indiana, brother.
Yeah,
it is.
When I was at Ball State, that was back in the 80s. 81 is when I graduated from high school. They would come knock on our dorm door and tell us not to come outside because the Klan was marching that day. That was back in the 80s. They were really, Klan was really deep in southern Indiana. Really.
Hey, Gina, check this out. In the 90s, they let the Klan march up Broadway in Gary, Indiana.
They definitely did.
But what I wonder about the N-word, why is it that women don't use it?
Yes, they do.
They do. They use it.
It all depends on who you're talking to and what you're talking about.
They do. No, they use the N-word too, because you got like the conversation we was talking about of non-genders. They'd be like, "Oh, that's my N-word right there." They use it. They use it a lot.
Yeah.
And I saw something today where this lady was talking. It was one of them prank things. She was like, "Yeah, well, you know, y'all N-words, y'all do this and y'all do that and all this old junk and this and that." I mean, they use it just as much as we do. Maybe not
in my circle because I don't hear it. I've never heard females.
It all depends on who you're around. It all depends on, and I think it all.
But they're
depends
not
on
calling each other that, though, are they?
Yeah.
A woman to a woman.
Go to Clubhouse. Pick one of those rooms.
Yeah. Anyone.
Everywhere, yo.
I just remember when I was coming up, and this is going way back again. The reason why it was a bad word because the way it was explained to me, you can't say the word shit or MF, and and you can't change those meanings. You just can't. It's bad. Period. So that's the way they taught us that using the N-word was the same thing. It was just a bad word.
You gotta look at it this way too, Mo. We can't go up to women, and excuse me, Gina, for saying it this way. We can't go up to women and be like, "Hey, bitch, what up, bitch? What up, ho?" But Too Short and Snoop do. But nah, because she's the only female on here. But Too Short and Snoop can say it, and they be like, "Oh, what's up?" You see what I'm
saying? He said women call each other the B word, but if we as men use it, it's disrespectful.
Exactly, it's disrespectful.
Unless you Too Short or Snoop Dogg, it's okay.
Yeah. Tree says she grew up in the wild hundreds in Chicago, so the N-word is always used. Grew up on it. Sadly, the environment definitely call each other that, women to women, and men to men, just like women call each other the B word jokingly.
What's the wild hundreds?
Hey, bro. Like we just told Kevin about Philly, man. Go there. And you'll
Yeah.
find
Hey Mo, anywhere from what was the mall out there in from
McCormick?
River Oaks
Yeah.
from River Oaks going west.
That deep?
Yeah. Wow. Anything in the hundreds that's in Illinois. Harvey.
Yeah.
All of that. Wow.
Robbins.
I used to hang in Harvey.
Yeah.
Markham.
Yeah, Robbins, all of that. All that's in the Wild Hunt.
Okay.
Yeah, and even if you're from Gary, going to the Wild Hundreds, watch yourself.
Yeah.
We tough from
especially
Gary.
if you don't know nobody over there.
You don't know nobody up in there, you're done.
Yeah.
I remember
I
when we did the movie Invincible. The cast and crew had to be bused to and from because we were in South Philly. We were protected going to and from just to do a movie.
Yeah, Maurice. When you go back home, let's go to Gary.
Yeah. No, I got people over in Harvey. So that's why I used to go,
Like I said, the very first time when I first started doing the video show, the very first day when I went to Harvey, Illinois, I'm trying to find a studio, and me and my partner, we run up on this dude laying in the street dead, dude.
Oh wow.
He gone. And I'm like, man, do we really want to do this?
Do we really want to shoot this video here?
Exactly.
That's all the people I with out that way. When I was in Gary, was people from the hundreds.
Well, I got to know everybody. Believe me, if I knew if the studio we had was out in Harvey, in the heart of Harvey, Illinois, so I got to know everybody, right? Yeah. But that K word,
that was 70s for me, running back and forth over there to Markham. So
yeah, but before we go to the K word, another thing too, like the actual racial term for races that use it is the Nigger word. We created the word Niga. We created that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have the same meaning of what older people look at it as.
Right.
Like the Niga didn't really come around to probably like the late mid 80s. Really.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's when it came around, but it was a term that we created. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, everything they try to put on us, we snatch it from them and try to make it something that we can use to not feel offended by. But again, we still have a lot of people up here that doesn't have the wherewithal verbally to hurt people with words. They want to react physically. So when you see somebody from another race say it, they want to fight first.
Yep.
They can't. Right. They can't control it or control the situation by talking with words. You know what I'm saying? So
because you ever dealt with a young white guy who'll sit up here, he say Niga to fit in with you, but when he angry at you, he gonna put that ER on that bad boy, and you definitely know the difference. You're not about to sit up here and tell nobody that you don't.
Yeah, and that too, man. You know, it goes back to what Greg was talking about earlier. Like, it's something that we want to have to ourselves, but we'll never have it to ourselves. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We want to have something that's for the culture, but it'll never be for the culture. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about the Niga word. I'm just talking about in general. Anything we do, we make the world turn. Anything that we do as a culture, everybody else wants to do.
True that.
We'll never have it individualized for ourselves. But Donna Booker says people be low key most of the time, indirectly in your face with bull, and it's normalized to treat one another with forward disrespect. They play with the words, try the spirit. I always say.
Well, let's go ahead and play that second video. That's the one I sent you. That's the one I would like for you to play.
Let's see what this is about. The Karen, how Karen became a household word or something like that. Let's see. Right. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with Karen word. All right. Only if your name is Karen. All right. Here we go.
Karen, are you okay?
I don't understand what happened.
Karen, would you like to calm down and have a conversation? Why are you?
Because you're attacking me right now.
I'm not attacking you, ma'am. You flicked me off.
You're ready to take it.
Guys, this is her license plate number. She lives here. This is her address.
This is
Karen, you flipped me off. You cut me off and flipped me off, and now you're playing the victim.
I have a breathing problem. My doctor would not let me wear a mask. So anyone harassing me to wear a mask, you guys are violating federal law. Do you get that? Get that on camera. Ma'am. Please take your phone off.
Please don't come close to me.
I'm taking pictures calling the cops.
Please call the cops. Please call the cops.
I'm going to tell them there's an African American man threatening my life.
Please tell them whatever you like.
And my dog. And my... I'm sorry, I can't hear you either. I'm being threatened by a man into the ramble. Please send the cops immediately.
This woman don't want to let a little girl sell some water. She calling police on an 8-year-old little girl. You can hide all you want. The whole world gonna see you, boo.
Yeah, and illegally selling water without a permit? Yeah.
On my property.
It's not your property.
This is not the way to do it.
Okay.
It's private property.
But if I did live here and it was my property, this would be absolutely fine. And you don't know if I live here or if this is my property.
We actually do know. That's why we're asking.
Oh, really? Because you live here, right? You said so.
Because we know the person who does live here.
Oh, okay.
So
then I suggest you call him or call the police, or because you're accusing me of a crime, correct?
I obviously do understand, you know, the real movement behind it, but I just think this isn't necessarily the best way to make someone's point. It is a form of prejudice. I mean, it's a dictionary definition of prejudice, which is having a preconceived notion of someone based on an arbitrary characteristic. I do think in the same way that blonde jokes used to be very popular and are now seen quite rightly as regressive and sexist, I do think this is just another opportunity to knock women, really. So I do think it's sexist. You know, bad behavior is bad behavior, and that, you know, whether that's racism or misogyny or anything else, and it should be called out for what it is. But I don't think you're going to get very far trying to tar all women with the same brush. It doesn't seem a productive way to, you know, to address genuine inequality and racism in society.
Okay, I got something I want to say. I got some shit I want to
Go
say.
ahead, I will not speak on this subject because I'll probably get mad and we'll probably get canceled. So
It's
I'm gonna
okay.
let y'all.
I'll speak for you, Chris. It's all right. Don't live it
Okay,
to
Daryl.
I represent. It's okay.
Hey, Chris, we've already did the disclaimer, so we can't get in trouble or get kicked off.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for turn then.
Okay. Well, so this is what this brother has to say. To the white woman who spoke and felt that Karen was something that was disrespecting women, we gonna cancel you, and we gonna push you to the back. You gonna shut up, because if you look all through that video, and if you look why people are called Karen, it is because they are displaying that type of behavior. And a lot of this did not happen, and I'm gonna sound like a lot of other people when I say this because I don't like talking about this subject. But when that fool got in the office and he started saying what he wanted to say and doing what the hell he wanted to do, that gave other people the right to speak up, and they felt that they could just talk against black people, speak against young black people, for brothers and sisters just walking down the street, yo, that minding their own business, and you gonna getting killed or just calling the police on them, and black folk wasn't doing nothing. We just watched a video where a white lady had a damn dog and was called the police and overreacted, acted a stone cold fool.
Well, she got fired from her job.
I'm telling you, talking about how this black man is threatening me. Heifer, you 20 feet away from this man, and you gonna sit up here and say that? Man, I'm sorry. Hey, in my eyes, I will call my sister and I'll be like, hey, come here. I can't hit a woman, but I need you to fight her, because she lost her damn mind. And I don't have time for that mess. My thing is, I'm going to keep it real with you. My thing is, if we started doing stuff like that, white people would have a hardcore fit with us. And they will be trying to put us up, down, left, right, in a cell, wherever we want to go. But let white people do it. They just feel like they got a pass to do whatever the hell they want to do. Shit don't make no sense. I said my piece. I'm done. I might speak a little later.
The one thing that's through all those videos that you can see plainly and very clearly is fear. Okay, and
fake fear.
And what it is you think about what the history that's in their mind about us and what they've done to us, you be scared too. You be scared that one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be in a ship going back to Europe or something as a slave. 400 or 500 deep. Think about that shit. That's some deep shit to think about.
Because that was they feared back in the 70s with us. J. Edgar Hoover said that's why we were most feared.
One thing I want to point out, though, because a lot of people are saying it's not derogatory. But if you think about it, when you call someone a Karen, what are you saying? You're saying you're an entitled white woman that wants to get her way, and no matter how you get it, you want your way. So right. it definitely is a slur, so to speak, because when anybody that says it, you know exactly what they're referring to.
But it's exactly a deserved.
Let me tell you something though.
But the thing that you have to realize is that when they call to action, the Karen, when the law enforcement comes about, the first thing they do, they push Jeff, Mo, Kevin, Chris, Greg against the car. They handcuff us. They don't even listen to our side of the story.
Yeah. Whatever we got to say is moot.
You're exactly right. And that's the problem with it, because then you get that one trigger happy cop that says, oh, someone farted. Sound like a gunshot.
Yeah.
Kev's on the floor.
Exactly.
Why do we shoot Kevin? Well, everyone else has guns and they start shooting all of us. And that's the reason why Karens are so deadly. Our history, we have been falsely accused of actions against white women that we've never done. We don't even have to be in the neighborhood. We just have to be breathing somewhere in town.
Ain't it?
But you know what? When you think about it, I think about the origin as Emmett Till. And they knew back then, if a white woman claimed that a black man did something to them, there were going to be harsh consequences. And so it has now arisen again in the same context, in the Emmett Till era.
Yeah.
I can too.
And see,
I can't agree with that one, Jim.
Well,
the reason I can't agree with it is because the word Karen and what the lady did. The lady didn't do it because she had she felt entitled. She did it because Emmett was black. Now that part I agree with you with, but the way Karens act today is not just against black people. I saw a video of a quote unquote Karen trying to slap a white police officer, and not police officer, security guard inside of a makeup store because she felt entitled.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? See, the thing about it is, it's not that the Emmett Till situation was a white on black situation. A Karen situation happens with any color. If you have a hip or a down to earth Caucasian around and they're doing the same thing, they're going to call them a Karen. They're not going to call them a Karen just because they're doing it with their own kind also. That's the only thing I disagree with, because Emmett Till was a black-white situation in the South.
Yes.
So we can't compare a Karen to that at all.
Where did the Karen come from? Maybe somebody named Karen did it first, or
I thought it was wasn't it on a joke on TikTok? The dude was he was just calling this woman Karen, and he was joking around with it, and then just took off from there.
So it's no longer Becky.
Well, it actually happened from, you remember that guy that was barbecuing in the park, and they was like, do you have permits to do this and do that? And that's when it started. That's when the whole Karen situation. I ain't gonna say when it started, but that's when it went viral.
Yeah.
That's when it went viral.
I don't think that the Karen though is derogatory. I think it's something that you earn. You know what I mean? If you're acting a certain way, they deem it as being a Karen. You've earned that. You definitely earned that.
But you know the other thing too, if it happens from a male perspective, they call him a Ken.
But what's interesting?
The people with the name Karen did not like that term.
They didn't.
Now that I can agree with. I can agree with that. Most definitely, they didn't like that at all.
I know the feeling. Earlier this week, I didn't like my first name.
And for the record, this the second show where Jeff done went off. All right.
Hey,
this controversy. This controversy.
I'm not sure to me, it's not even the name. Like, there's several names out there that I felt like these names are derogatory. I mean, I remember one day at work, I never knew what "Bye Felicia" meant, right? I'm at work and this girl says to another girl, "Bye Felicia." The girl got up and just started wailing on her. That's when I found out what "Bye Felicia" meant.
What does it mean?
I just
got a little
they were
PTSD.
saying
I
goodbye.
want to ask you a question, Gina. What did they tell you "Bye Felicia" meant?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Bye, bitch.
Not really.
What does "bye Felicia" mean?
That's not what it means. But
that's
it
what
actually
they told me it meant.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that. So what it actually means is not "bye bitch," but it's "bye get out my face."
It's
really,
similar to the
because
it's
it came from Friday.
I ain't got time for your mess.
With Felicia, who was the crackhead in the neighborhood. Yeah, when it was the crackhead in the neighborhood asking him to use the VCR, and he was like, "Nah, what y'all smoking on?" And then Q was like, "Bye, Felicia." That's where it came.
Well, they took it to another level when it got out
Yeah.
on the streets.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, I just want to let you know, I'm going to introduce you to the Black Google, Chris.
The Black
Yeah.
Google, Chris.
Hey, look.
I
We actually need a Black Google.
I totally
Yeah.
believe it. Now, let me ask you a question since we're talking, because when I was young, the first time I went to the YMCA, my father told me, he goes, look, he said, you can put hands on anyone that calls you a boy or the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
I was fighting the first day I went to the YMCA.
My grandfather told me that too.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the normal size kid either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that I had to go put hands on people. I just used to tell people, like, even in my teenage years, and younger kids used to be out cussing and doing all this, knowing that they don't do that in front of their parents.
Mm-hmm.
I sit and talk with them. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to use my words instead of using my fists. Now, if you still want to fight after that, then we can do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And the reason why I said that, because 2 weeks ago, a young lady addressed one of my male co-workers as that little black boy. He's a grown man. And when I explained to her it wasn't the right term to use and tried to educate her, and she goes, well, that's the way we were always taught. And he goes, it's a cute little black boy.
It's a Karen.
I want to say this back on the Karen thing.
And that's the thing about it too, Kevin. When you have people that's like that talking about we was raised this way, but you wasn't raised that way in a professional industry.
Right.
In certain ways, you can't bring what you were taught and learn at home to a professional industry.
Right.
You have to know how to act like a professional in that field. Right. So for her to use that as an excuse, that's just her being a Karen in so many ways.
Yeah.
LaDonna says, let me read LaDonna's comment. She says, Karen is a manifestation of no accountability, a craziness nut zone, a broken system of all kinds of slavery shit. My truth.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to say this too about Karen. I feel that, isn't it funny how when the white people finally have a word that they can be called that seems derogatory, now you know how these quote unquote N-words felt, don't you?
Oh, they're so sensitive now.
Yeah, so sensitive now. But we had to take beatings, whoopings, get hit by dogs, billy clubs, all that stuff, killings and all that. But now somebody calls you a Karen, you want to go in a corner and cry.
Hey Jeff, don't forget the water hose. And the
yeah, that's right. The water hose too.
Don't forget tar and feather either.
Yeah, tar and feather. Let's not forget about that either. You know,
don't forget. So, but how much time we got? Okay, we got 10 minutes before we get to Jeff. Don't forget about this either. It's black Karens out there also.
Yeah.
My wife was funny. She just came to me and said, "Honkies and crackers." She listening. That's what I had to get off real quick.
That's 70s right there.
Yeah, but it's black Karens out there also. Mm-hmm. We have to really watch our own because they don't think they're up.
So
they don't know who they are.
Basically, we need to educate not only ourselves but everyone else on our bias. and come to recognize individuals and respect them for who they are and where they stand at the place that they're at. Correct.
And that's where it's all supposed to start from. It starts from respect until you become disrespectful to me. Then I'm gonna show you disrespect. Because you should reach people. You should approach people with respect always. But if they come to you disrespectful, I mean, they say 2 wrongs don't make a right, but sometimes you got to make that. You got to make them 2 lefts real quick.
I like the black Google. A lot of people could get educated under that.
Yep. And if you don't understand what Google means, duck.
Oh my goodness.
This man.
You crack yourself up.
You got it.
You on mute, Greg.
You muted. Got him.
Hello.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
think he knew. I don't think he knew.
I was saying I'm not talking too much today because I'm actually getting educated. All right.
No, Chris doing a great job.
A lot of the stuff I did not know. I'm not gonna sit there and front like I did. And again,
I mean, you think about how many innocent men have died because of Karens, and you think about how many guys that have went to jail because of Karens. Now that one lady you talk about that you just showed, she actually went to jail.
Yes, she did, and lost her job.
She lost her job. The one with the water lost her job. She didn't go to jail, but she lost her job because the company wasn't having it. Now, some people actually standing up and doing some things about it. Some of these companies, they're not having that shit. You know,
but the guy actually did not want her to go to jail. He fought for her not to lose her job or go to jail.
I ain't fighting for nobody.
He didn't. He didn't want her to be.
Well, I mean, most of us don't. Most of us don't. But if the shoe was on the other foot, they put us under the ground. You know what I'm saying?
That's because our society thinks that we're disposable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's how they look at us. They look at us as being disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's why I ain't gonna fight for nobody. That's why I'm willing to let the justice system do. If white folk are willing to let the justice system do its part on my end and let people view me a certain way, I'm willing to let that go right on the other end. I ain't fighting for nobody. I don't want to see you get locked up, but there are consequences for your actions too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. Go ahead, Mo. My bad. Go ahead.
I mean, they always tell us that it is our consequences for our actions. My father told me about that, and you know, we talked about that on this show many times about consequences for action. You know, when we talk about our children, but it seems like it only applies to certain people sometimes.
There it is.
Well, for those who have just tuned in, we're talking about the N word, and we're talking about the K word, Karen.
Don't say K word, just say Karen.
Just say Karen.
Hey, some people view it as derogatory, so I'm going to show respect.
Yeah, please just say
people that view it as derogatory. The ones that view it as derogatory ain't watching the show.
Yeah, just say Karen because Kevin's been tossed around all this week.
And he's still being tossed around, man. It's gonna be a long time before that goes somewhere. It'll be a minute till that die down.
That you change your name.
So we already know that Life Coach Jeff, if somebody said it accidentally or not, they ain't getting away with it. All right, with Jeff. All right,
no, not at all.
Well, you also got to remember, if Jeff is giving it to you just before 10 minutes till 8, he's going to be giving you some little life coaching at 9 o'clock. So you either better just clock out before then, or you got to listen to.
And that's 8 o'clock Central Time.
That's right, 8 o'clock Central Time. That's right.
All right.
Well, go ahead, Mo.
That's look, hey Jeff, you know what? It's 7:53. Where Marcella at when we need her?
Hold up, wait a minute.
Okay, hold up, wait
a minute.
Put
it's
some
time.
coaching in it.
All right, that's what I got. So it's Chris and Kevin kind of harped a little bit on the subject. That's what I want to talk about, respect, because the thing is, we live in a society where we always want to say free speech this, we had a right to say whatever and do whatever, but you know what? We have to learn as a society where to draw the line at. If I'm going to say something that's going to be derogatory, disrespectful, it's just not going to come out my mouth at all. But sometimes you got to be careful, because if you do say it to the wrong person, you just might get knocked back or pushed down because of it. Like we said earlier, there are consequences for your actions. So for the Karens out there, for the wannabe Karens, and anybody that's going to be a K that feels like the K is derogatory, know that there are consequences for your actions. Don't cry if you get locked up. Don't cry if you lose your job. Go back and roll the tape, because I guarantee you, your family's not proud of you, and you shouldn't be proud of yourself either. So just always remember, respect the people who are around you, and in order to get respect, you got to give it too. Don't be an a-hole when it comes to that. That's what I got.
Let's redirect, refocus.
I knew it was going to be deep.
Oh yeah, I could have went longer, girl, but I had to cut it off.
Hey, y'all know what we doing a lot. We doing a lot of sugarcoat with these words too. Okay, you know we'll say the N word, but then we say some of the other words just flat out. Okay, Jeff just said a-hole. Okay.
I know, and I was like, damn, I want to say ass. I said it now. Ass. Couldn't even say ass. So that's terrible.
Again, I will say the views that are expressed on we got St. Christopher here now, so we got to stop. Not Christopher.
Well,
you know what I don't understand throughout our history. Why do people fear us just based on the color of our skin?
It goes
because we was the first. We were the first people on this earth. Yep. We were the first people on this earth.
I was waiting for Google.
I don't know if that's why they fear us, though.
Yes, that's exactly what they fear us.
Yeah, because if they was fearing us, no, I think they fear. I'm not dispelling what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think they start fearing us when after that slavery stuff, we stood up and took stock in ourselves, and we stopped letting them do the things that they were doing to us.
Well, see, I also think
it's because of our strength, our intelligence, and how we persevere in dire times.
Yep.
And when you see someone that you constantly are trying to beat down, no matter what, and they stand back up, and they're still strong, and they're sticking together, and they're able to overcome a lot of things because we are more than conquerors. Then they fear that, and that's why they try to break up Black families, people of color. They try to break up the family. They try to come into when we're united. They try to come in between us and try to separate us because they know that united we stand and divided we fall. That's why they fear us.
And
on that note, hold up. On that note, this is a somber show that we're doing right now, but it's time. Let's put redirect, regroup, and let's.
Marcy, Marcy.
Am I late? Did you do it already?
Marcy, yeah, you missed out, girl. You missed out because we waited on you, and you know.
I was like, no.
Yeah, I just
That's
wanted
okay.
to get
Let's
it out.
refocus again.
But that
There
was
you go.
good though,
Yeah.
Marcy. She
I
did
loved
better
it.
than I did.
That segue was.
I tried to get in. I
Well,
That
I
segue
do want
was
to.
smooth.
I do want to take time to say thank you to Brett Curran, of course, our very own LaDonna Booker, Lewis Blacknail, our Tree Sweet. Thank you all for watching. I know there's other viewers out there. We want to just thank you for tuning in and being loyal viewers.
Yeah, we thank you.
Thank you.
And what Chris said, because we were the first. I mean, you got to look at it. You can mix us with anything and everything, and no matter what happens, at the end of the day, it comes out chocolate.
It does.
Yeah.
True.
But you know what? I really believe that this is never going to end. We had the Becky, we had the Felicia, we have the Karen. It's going to be Jennifer and Lily
Ray.
and Sarah.
Pookie.
I don't think it's ever going to end.
Right, and Pookie, and then
No, it's not going to end. But back to the Kevin question, the reason they fear us, because they fear us because we're getting smarter by the day. Pretty much of what Marcy said. And with us being smarter by the day, we're starting to find out that stuff is in place law-wise to protect us that we didn't know back in the 20s, back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We didn't know anything about those things.
Yeah, you can't spray us down with water hose and expect us to take it now.
Right, because like I told people during the marching aspect of the pandemic, when everything was going down and they was out marching and they was doing all that, it's like we've done that before. We did that. We've been doing that for over 50 years. It got us a little bit of help, but it didn't give us the help that we wanted. And the help that it did give us, me personally, I think it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Once they ended segregation, I think that was the worst thing ever. Because when we was ourselves, we didn't have to worry about the government coming in and making sure our studies was lower than everybody else's. We didn't get the same thing that they got.
Right.
But that's another show. But the thing is that we created 98% of all of the machinery, industry, everything that's going on in the world today, and they stole it and took credit for it.
Yep.
Exactly. And when you watch a lot of these documentaries, when you educate yourself on this stuff, it's just like, yo, everything comes full circle. If y'all got to watch the 2 Killings of Sam Cooke. That is an excellent documentary.
Very good.
It just really, that opened up my eyes to that music thing and everything. And I was like, wow, we were just so immersed in everything. And the fact that, and I always say, the J. Edgar Hoover principles ain't that far away from today at all.
Right.
Those same principles, how they feel back then with government and the White House, all that stuff, is still in there. And until them old white people, I'm gonna say it, to them old clear white people die off, we ain't gonna see a lot of change. Them just the facts. Just the facts, yo.
And that's the reason why we got to quit electing.
Why you go? Hold on.
That's the reason why we got to quit electing people's grandparents to run this country.
I gotta go. He did it. I gotta go.
Hold up.
Let me regain myself.
It goes back. You got to remember, this stuff that we got going on now goes way back. It goes back to biblical times. You know, a lot of people that don't know how far it goes back. I mean, when God separated, the races, he actually separated cultures back then, and he did it with a mark. Think about Cain and Abel.
Right.
A lot of people don't want to say it, but the truth is Cain was white.
Well, Cain also began with a K. So Cain was a K.
There's Canaanites too after that. There's Canaanites after that. So
change my name. Well, actually, my given name is Sir Philip Kevin McLemore, so I'm going with SP.
There you go, Kevin. Just leave the K alone, bro.
Yeah.
What does SP mean? Slow playing?
Now, a lot of people don't want to say that, but I'm gonna say it. That it is what it is. I mean, and if you think about Jacob in the Bible, you think about a lot of folks in the Bible that were swindlers, thieves, and all of that stuff. Think about these folks. They actually describe them in the Bible.
This is interesting.
All I know is I'm learning a lot tonight. I'm serious. That's why I'm not saying too much, man.
But you know what? That's what people need to do, is to educate themselves and dig a little bit deeper, because what you see on the surface is not always what it is. Right. You really do need to go deeper and learn your history.
Yep.
Learn why there are certain things that are taking place. And so many people say, well, how do we move from this? How do we get past this? That's the only way you're going to get past it, if you're educated.
Yeah.
Well,
okay, so Gina, let me ask you a question about that.
Hold on, Marcy. One thing we need to do is let Greg talk. Go ahead, Greg. Say what you got to say.
No, I was just gonna say, man, shut up. I was just gonna say that it's different cultures out there. So as we're trying to have these conversations, all right, we got to make sure that we get to the demographic of people who don't know anything about this. All right, so can we change this? I think as time moves on, it's never going to change. It's probably going to get worse. That's just my opinion.
But you want to know why? Because them younger people below me don't care. Well, the younger people below me really don't care.
Listen to this, and Chris may know this. There's a group called the Golden something in they're Asian or whatever, but they're a very strong group of people because they have money and they have politicians, whatever. They are taking action and basically saying, look, we're not going to have this anymore because they have power. We're the only race that's out there that literally doesn't have any power. We have conversations. But
why we don't have power, okay? I mean, SP, you know why we don't have power?
Go ahead and tell us, Google.
Because we don't have a nationality.
Yep.
That's right. We don't have no backbone.
Every nationality, race that has power a nationality behind
Yep.
it.
Right.
Every
you
culture
do that.
does have a nationality except for black folk.
Yep.
We
And
do,
you,
but
you,
until
you think
go,
about it, and I told my son this. We don't even know what our real names are.
We
Macklin is
don't.
not my name.
Mm-mm.
It's
You
not.
know, and
It's not.
people, you know, we talk about knowing who we are, and to our viewers, you know, I know this conversation for some is uncomfortable, and I'm happy that we brought this conversation, but I'm hoping this conversation makes you think and changes your view on how you look at your neighbor, your friend, your coworker, and how you look at this world.
go do some research too.
Okay, so Gina asked, what can we do to change it? And you guys are saying we can educate ourselves, do research and things of that nature. So once we educate, now, one of you guys just said we have to not only educate ourselves, but educate others from other nationalities and different races. So once we educate ourselves and we try to educate others, I'm not real big on knowing about the critical race theory, but is that not part of that? The critical race theory, is that part of it? That's not part of it at all? Where we're trying to go back to
the biggest thing with education, the conversation we have, it's all good, but the other thing is where power has its place is because there was an action that gave power. All right, our conversation only goes to as far as the people that are listening, but if there's no action that pushes a button that gets people to react, and we take a stand, and like I said, our biggest power is because, you know, I think I said this a while back in being a meeting. When a guy from the UK sitting in front of 1,500 people saying, invest in black, and he has a long dramatic pause, he says, because we're not business people, we're consumers. We like shiny things.
Wow.
You have to think about where the power is. If we stop giving those people that oppress us our paychecks, our children's college education, our future investments. We talk about legacy, but we don't understand what legacy is. If we stop building legacies for someone that oppresses us, then we start getting power.
So is that also as far as voting the correct people in and watching and checking their history of things?
Now I want to say this about
what's the
voting.
correct people? Who are the correct people? We don't. There's no correct.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Doing your homework first to see what they've done in the past. What they had. You don't think that's going to work either?
But the problem with voting, Marcy, is
if that's the case, Joe Biden wouldn't be president. Black people wouldn't have voted for Joe Biden if that was the case.
And the thing is, we don't have enough people that actually represent us who want to run for office as well. The thing is, when we get those people who do want to represent us, it's sometimes that we always want to say they don't be about the right, or we don't want to support them or nothing like that. We don't show up with strength in numbers. So the thing
you know what it is, too, Jeff?
What's up?
You know what it is, too, Jeff? We do have people that want to run for us. You know what it is? But you know what it is? We vote for them presidential voting.
And that's what I was going to say. We need
every 2 year the constitutional vote.
And that's the point I was going to make, brother. That's the thing. We need people. We need our people in local elections. If we get our people in local elections, that's how you get things changed, starting from the bottom up. And that's where you build the strength in numbers. You got to start. You got to have a baseline to shift anything, to shift anything, or see direction of power change. You got to start from the ground and then work your way up. We think it's gonna work if we hit the guy from the top. That's why so many black people relied on Obama to do stuff. You gotta remember, he just ain't looking for one group of people when you're president. You gotta pacify everybody on down. You can't be that man who gonna sit up here and say, I just want to take care of my people.
There's a book that I'm reading called The Fourth Turning, and it basically goes throughout the history and talks about how the people and the government related. And right now we're in the fourth turning. And if that prophecy is going to come true, basically it says, Jeff, your generation and your children's generation is going to overthrow the government and rebuild it. That's the only way it's going to get better. It's got to be torn down, and it's got to be redone all over again.
Wakanda forever.
Well, this is the situation, and we can go back to the Obama situation.
Let me read this comment real quick, Chris.
Can you hear me?
See. Yeah, can you hear us?
Oh,
Let me read this
go
real
ahead,
quick.
bro.
Byron says, does anyone know how long Kane hated his brother? As long as he was able. LaDonna says that our eyes are fully open. It's our choice to redirect and create anew. Period. No excuse. Rise up and rise up. Humanity has been domesticated on all kinds of levels and spells. They did a job on us. Now we're rising up. Okay, I'm done. Great topic. Energy. Thumbs up. Go ahead, Chris.
Rise up.
Look, what I was going to say is when Obama was in office, what we didn't understand is that when he was in office, his political party was in control of the House until his second term.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they vetoed everything that he was trying to get passed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
So that's when you go back to the locals and all
Exactly.
that.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then you
what Jeff was talking
nut
about.
job and
But
had to veto the rest. You know.
well, but the thing about that too, even when he was in office, he was a nut job. And I hate to say this live on Dope Living TV, except for the pandemic part, which still people made money during the pandemic. Everything in America was pretty much at its best during that time, which is crazy.
Right.
When you go back and look at the numbers are astronomical in favor of Trump being president.
Yeah, but was it because it was a perfect storm?
No. What it was that he took over for what Obama already started, and he had got credit.
And he badmouthed everything. Trump made up a whole lot of statistics that had no valor. Okay,
Right. No.
And it was just he knocked everything, and nobody was fact checking him except for us.
You know something? They were fact checking him every time he showed up.
Listening.
Every time he had a document that came from Sesame Street. And he went ahead and said, this was the Ernie and Big Bird. This is how they researched it, whatever. And he says, I totally agree with it. He says, the only thing is, Cookie Monster said this was bullshit, so don't listen to him.
Right.
No, you're right, though. I mean, because it was just so, and Chris, I feel you on that, man. It was just so ridiculous that Trump was, when Obama was in his last year, Trump was already.
You know what's so crazy about Trump is he stood up there and told people he could walk down the street and kill somebody and get away with it.
Pretty much.
Yep. And you caught him on video tape trying to get on
that?
Huh?
Yep.
You know what's been crazier than that?
What?
In 1992, he said, if I ever ran for presidency, I'm going to run Republican because they stupid as man vote for me.
Mm-hmm. He did. I remember that.
And sure enough, they all
in
said,
that Phil Donahue show.
They all said, they all said in one harmonious voice, they all said, okay.
So, all right, let's go to the polls.
And the reason people voted for Joe Biden is because he was connected to Obama.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and look at the history of Joe Biden, it's going in the same way America is being ran right now from what he did in the 90s.
He has some skeletons in his
black
body.
people.
Yep.
Oh, here's the Trumpism.
He got a lot of skeletons.
There's a Trumpism right there, like drinking bleach to get rid of the virus.
Well, that's when all of this Karen and it really became prevalent during the Trump
Karen was
era
born
because
during the Trump
and so I mean you have to look at it for what it is.
And
It was already there.
And
that just gave them the courage to let it come out publicly.
Exactly.
I know I'm going to get berated for what I'm about to say. The only good thing that Trump did, it took every racist and bigot that normally would stand in the back of the store and hide out. They decided to come out and said, it's okay. And if you don't believe me, go to the videotape for January 6th.
Well, he did two good things. I mean, well, not good things. He did something else that everybody took note of, too. And it helped, actually helped one particular company, okay? Cheetos. It really helped that.
You know what?
That orange face, man. That orange face.
Really?
No, that's actually fact. If you notice when Trump was president, Cheetos stock was through the roof.
And McDonald's stock went up too.
Yeah. For the clown. Yep. You're absolutely right.
Wow.
Man.
I'm just saying though, he did have a lot of great moments. He made look, that those years that Trump was in office, all of those talk show comedians, their stock went
They
way
got paid. They
Their
got
stock
paid.
got way up.
They didn't even have to make up anything. All they had to do is recreate what he said.
Yeah, pretty much. What were you saying, Gina?
Is he a kin?
Who?
A kin.
No, he's a Cheeto.
He every K.
Yeah, is he a kin?
I wouldn't call him a kin. Well, he's a kin on Twitter before he got kicked off of there.
He's a hood.
Hey, Marlon Matthews won. He's watching us on YouTube. He says, "Where is all the hate for Trump after he put those lying-ass so-called Supreme Court judges in?"
Man, that's something that we're going to talk about on Monday. We're going to talk about that on Monday.
Byron said he was really tired of Mango Unchained. He was a cancer on the Mango.
Mango, you know what?
That's funny. That's funny.
Mango Unchained.
But you know, there's an opportunity that he might get back in.
That ain't gonna happen.
Well, I
just
will
said
tell
an opportunity.
you,
I
if
said
he gets back in,
Don't say it ain't gonna happen out
Yeah,
loud,
that's it.
man. Do not say that out loud.
I
Don't
pray
say
it
that
doesn't
out
happen.
loud.
Hey,
They'll line
look,
up and they'll be in line.
We invite ex-President Trump to come on the show and express his opinion.
He gonna call us beautiful
I don't
people.
want to hear his opinion.
Yeah, we
He
can
gonna
bring him.
call
We
us
can bring
beautiful
it. We can bring it on. We can bring him on for sure.
I'm serious.
Might be able to
Yeah.
change our minds on how we feel about him.
Yeah, that's not right.
When donkeys fly.
Wait a minute. Will we bring on his interpreter so we understand what the hell he's saying?
Greg can interpret his sign.
I mean, I got
Marcella
the Trump
can
Google.
interpret.
I got the Trump Google too, so
There
I can
you go.
translate.
Marcella can interpret. They have something in common.
He's not clear. He's orange.
He's backing Dr.
Well, see,
R.
the thing about
That's
Trump
what
too is
actually surprised me.
what made Trump really disliked by a lot of people, because everybody used to love Trump, but what made people dislike Trump was his connection with Pence, and Pence is kin for real.
He's straight out of Indiana.
Indiana
He's
like
straight out of
Pence.
Well,
Indiana.
you know,
And
Trump.
his
owed
brother took his seat, right? His
Yeah.
brother has a seat now in Indiana, doesn't he?
Yeah, Trump owed Indiana so much money, he was scared Pence was going to tell on him.
He owed everybody.
He owes
money.
lots of money, including yours
Everybody
truly.
money. He didn't pay.
But guess
they
what?
said their bills or anything.
When the
the
insurrection on January 6th was over, Pence came back to Indiana to hide out.
Mm-hmm.
He came back to Indiana.
All I know is
Well, you know,
I
yeah,
never
I'm
got
gonna
my
say
degree from Trump University.
What?
Only thing I'm gonna say this. I got my degree from Trump University. I ain't gonna need to
You got yours. I didn't
I
get mine.
did because he made me go research the loopholes, and I was just a whole lot of them.
Well,
Yeah, it is.
I hear you.
That's what Trump. The reason we have the bankruptcy laws the way they are now is because of is one of the main. I'm gonna say he's the reason, but one of the main reasons is Donald Trump, because he used to borrow money every 7 years, clear money.
Yeah, make us pay it back to him.
Exactly, because that's how money is created. Once we pay them back in taxes, that's how they, like Tupac said, they got money for war because feed the poor. That's what it is. Our tax money goes to war. It doesn't go to fix the streets. It doesn't go to build to fix the lighting. It doesn't go to
It
any.
doesn't go to education.
Nope.
None of that. It's all built. Tax money is all built for wars. That's what it's built for.
I'm learning so much tonight.
Yes,
I did not know.
There's more to learn though. This is not even the tip of the iceberg. There's more to learn.
Toilet paper.
Hey, that toilet paper got me some money, Brian. I'll take that.
And I think look, Trump, let's just keep it 100. We talking about Trump. We supposed to be talking about niggas and Karens. But
Hey, don't it all fit in the same category?
Hey, Trump is a Karen nigga. How about that? Okay, let's go.
That was cold. I like that.
But you know, Trump did teach everybody some I ain't gonna say good lessons, but he taught us what not to do in business.
Well, the thing about it is, actually, he taught me what to do in business. Actually,
right?
Because most of his businesses, buildings that he has his name on it, are not his building.
No, they're not
at all.
Exactly.
They just pay for the name.
He know how to put his name out there to the
He knows
fact
how
that
to
they have to
brand it.
pay him. They have to pay him for his name.
Yeah, he knows how to brand it.
Exactly. He knows all about branding, and that's what I got from him. As far as borrowing money and not giving it back, no, that's not me. But the branding part of what he does and how he does it to get all these buildings across the U.S. and overseas, it makes you go really study and be like, yo, how the hell did he do that?
Exactly.
Yep. And
What's
for the
so
last
crazy
4
is
years, we paid all his bills at Malargo.
He would
Yep.
he would tell people there's a bunch of loopholes and they're so stupid. He tell you just blank, tell everybody point blank that they stupid. There's so many loopholes you can make a bajillion dollars through the government.
It is.
Maurice, I ain't heard that in a long time. $1 billion.
A bajillion.
A
Well,
bajillion.
million ain't
Bajillion.
nothing no more.
Bajillion.
A million ain't nothing no more.
Marlon Matthews says Trump was loved by white guys because he was seen by them as a giant to say and do what he wanted, and they were afraid to.
Wow.
And that's how Karen got started.
Yeah.
Karen.
Karen's not afraid now.
But you know who used to really get me? Huckabee, that chick. Susan. She used to get me. God,
you mean Karen Huckabee?
God, she used to get me. She used to have me going like this. Man, really? She had cojones this big. I mean, she was. I mean, this dude could be blatantly lying, and she could go around that and then turn it back around to him. That was crazy. It was crazy with her.
Yeah.
And she had to cut it loose, and then the dude Steven, he just actually he was in there for as long as he could be in there, and then he cut out. Then he messed around and jumped on the Democrat side.
But see, that's what's keeping the Caucasians powerful. If we ever wanted to overthrow the government, it'll be hard for us to do. It can be done. It'll be harder for us to do because if we do, they know that they lose everything first.
Yeah.
They lose everything first.
Yeah, we did it all wrong, man. We should have set up the local elections when Barack was running for office. If we'd have set up the local and the presidency, would have been pretty good.
And that's actually what Trump has been doing, and a lot of his people,
that's what he's doing right now,
have been getting in.
Yeah.
And and they're telling you in advance before all of these primaries, and I'm sitting up here like.
Well, see, our
Like
people,
even in Indiana, a lot of people didn't get out to vote, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, the turn.
But that's what he did before. That's exactly what he did before.
That's the reason why they're trying to overturn the way that we vote, because we know if it inconveniences us, we won't go out and vote.
When I was talking to Mark,
people will stay out there in the rain with the umbrellas, the snow, the heat, and everything else. Reason why they said don't give water to them, because sooner or later they'll get thirsty and go home. Don't give them a ride because it's now illegal. They figured everything that we're a little bit afraid of and inconvenience, and then now they're making it illegal.
Illegal, yeah.
We have to, as a people, we need to outsmart the people because we taught them how to treat us.
So you're saying like it's okay to disrespect us, and because we're not.
No, it's because we allow it, and because we're so afraid. Yeah,
pretty much.
And that's got to change, and it's got to change with people like those of us that are on this panel that's not afraid to speak up, and then we've got to surround ourselves with people that will stand by us, because most of the time we'll all get together and say this is what we're going to do tomorrow, and then all of a sudden it's 500 people saying yeah we'll be there, and here comes Friday and we look around and it's just us. I couldn't come, Greg, I got flat. I had to work overtime, I had to get that overtime in and whatever,
I overslept.
It won't make a difference. My vote won't count.
Like I said in the past, my whole thing is not the whole culture, not the whole white culture is in on this craziness. But the ones that are barking the loudest right now, and what we need to do is try to find a way to shut this shit down.
And Mo, I'm glad you said that, because the other fear that they have is that we're going to say something, do something, and we're going to create allies that don't look like us, and the Jews are going to join us, the Asian people, the Latin people, whatever, and then all of a sudden, that little number that they only represent in single digits of this population, and they're going to look at all of us coming together and go, "Oh fuck, they got together."
Ain't that what our boy Fred Hampton
Well,
was trying to do?
education is the scary thing, because you think about it. You got a lot of the people in the white culture that think that the United States is the biggest country in the world. Well, you can take the United States and Europe and sit it in the corner of Africa. They think,
come on.
They actually think that the place is bigger than Africa. They think this U.S. is bigger than Africa. They don't understand.
About perception.
Huh?
But you know what it is also.
Yeah, Lillian.
And it goes back to what Kev was talking about. When how can I put this?
Just say it, brother.
When our culture and the Latino culture becomes one, it's over for the world.
True that.
Done deal.
If that ever happens in our lifetime, we're taking over everything.
True that.
We're going to take over everything. Like, if you notice right now, it's a lot of Asian billionaires that's looking to invest black, that's looking to invest Latino. They're looking to do all of that. You know what I'm saying now? And they're looking to come in on our side because, like, the big thing, like with this Ukraine-Russia war, quote unquote, they want us to go against Russia so bad. But you know, Russia's the only country that never had slaves.
I didn't know that. Oh, I'm learning some stuff. Okay.
They have some pretty big women, though.
They did have some pretty big women. But as far as slavery goes, especially slavery of us, they've never. They was all against it, always.
Absolutely,
always against it.
Hey, Jeff said it's time to go around the horn, so we want to thank everybody for this conversation. This conversation is not over. Just like most of the conversations we have, it ain't over. All right, so one day we will pick it back up, and get some more enlightenment. Like I said, I enjoyed it because it's one of the rare times that I get a chance to sit back and listen and learn. And I learned a lot from these people right here. So, and I hope everybody out there did as well. So real quick, Lillian says Russia has black Russians. That's a drink. LaDonna says, I say walk away from the whole broken sin energy system government. It's a lot of laws to remove ourselves. We must move forward with wisdom, forward thinking. We must teach the truth. It's love. Love builds. Newness with no fear. We will create. I can see it. She should have came on here and said that the way she said, I can see it. Marlon Matthews comes on and he says, teach my brother Mo, not to mention the maps they gave us is incorrect in size and where places really are. All of these good comments. Okay, we appreciate all of you guys for commenting. Marcella, start us off.
Okay, so going back to our original topic, for me, calling someone Karen is definitely not the same as calling someone the N-word. Also, people of color, and that's not just blacks, that's like Chris said, Hispanics, Asian, all of us definitely need to start sticking together. We need to get out and vote. Your vote counts. Your one vote counts. Looking at some of the elections, some of these people were winning by 13 and 14 votes. That slim of a difference between the two people that were running. So get out and vote. Get out and talk to your community, talk to your people, get out there. We have to unite. If we want any changes, we have to unite together, all of us.
Cool, Chris.
Basically, everything we talked about. I mean, Marcy, she said everything we said need to be said about the K word and the N word, Karen and the N word, I should say. What I want to say is that we really need to come together, become one, plan, plot, strategize, execute, and know that there's no way possible that us as citizens of the United States should be in debt because the country of the United States is supposed to pay all our debts because they created our debt. And I'm talking about debt from bills and all of that. It's laws that's in place for them to pay all of our debts, every last one of them. But we don't know anything about that. We think, oh, beginning of the month, we supposed to pay bills. It's not supposed to be that way. They have situations already set aside for that for us, but we don't know how to do it and how to get to it to get it done properly. So I just want to say, research a lot and get your affairs in order, because stuff about to change ASAP, real quick, real quick. That's all I gotta say.
See.
Yeah. Until tonight, first time I said this in joking, but now that I'm thinking about it, we definitely need a Black Google. Listening to a young man speak about the history from a position of knowledge, not an opinion, fact. We need to sit back and think about that. Think about together if our cultures came together in order to make this place great again. It's never been bad. It's just been bad for some folks. All right. We cannot unite until we learn to get along together. COVID proved one thing, that we're never going to come together. We're not going to be united. So forget about that. That's just bullshit. But I'm telling you, things can change if we decide that we had enough is enough. So when you get sick and tired, instead of having your silence, being on a mission to your own guilt and your own shame within your heart and your soul, and you look at yourself and think that you're not worthy, look at the people, listen to the conversation we had tonight. And like Madonna says, rise up. But don't just let your words be the conversation of the day. Let your actions speak.
Maurice.
Oh, without a doubt. You said it real good, Kevin. Chris, you hit the nail on the head. There is a debt owed, and not the 40 acres and a mule, neither, y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with what's owed. So do your research, like Chris said, and you'll find out there's a lot more than what we've been talking about on here. What the 40 acres and a mule is about. So it's way more than that. I mean, our lifestyle is supposed to be pumped way the hell up. I mean, and again, if we got that kind of knowledge and we got that kind of reckoning, dude, we can't be stopped. And again, don't nobody want to take over, and we just want what belongs to us. I want what's belongs to me, and everybody on this panel wants it. If they go out and work for it, they want to keep it. They don't want it taken away from us. When they ask you all the time, hey, how come you have historically Black colleges? Because you wouldn't let us go to the Ivy League colleges.
Yeah.
Well, how come you got the month of whatever for Black History Month? Because guess what? During the whole year, you're erasing our freaking culture, and erasing the actions and the history. So we got to make sure that history keeps going on, and it's not just a month; it should be every freaking day. So I mean, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
No, I second Marcella, Chris, Kevin, and Mo. I ain't gonna give a whole long speech here, but I do want to say this, Karen. If you come for me, I'm coming for you. If you come for Jeff Relaford, I'm coming for you. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Mo, for seconding that motion.
Go ahead. Karen, you got friends that come for Jeff.
Karen better leave Jeff alone.
Leave me alone, Karen. I'm done with you.
Go ahead, Gina.
Man, look, I'm going to be short and sweet too. Racism, children are not born with racism. Racism is taught. This is something that needs to be wiped away. If we can get rid of adults teaching children racism, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that.
Yeah, we gotta continue to educate ourselves. Like I said, I got educated tonight. We also got to stick together. A lot of us, because of the pressure that comes towards us, we tend to teeter that fence. You know what I mean? There's no line. You can't teeter that fence. You got to stay on one side or the other side, and hopefully it's the side of the right, the side of your people. But the other thing is too, in my opinion, let's all put ourselves in a position so that this stuff won't bother us. Okay, let's continue to work to make sure that our situation individually is a good situation, so that yes, we can still have the conversation, but at the end of the day, we can go home and know that all of the mess that's out there did not affect me and mine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what, that's been my goal all the time. And, thank God, as Kevin said on another show, that we all have an opportunity to start another day and do things differently. And hopefully the difference that we make in that day makes a difference in our overall journey, period.
Mm-hmm.
We had a good show today. We had a good show yesterday. We had a good show all week. The past 2 weeks, we've been killing it, Jewel. Killing it. Next week is not going to be any different, all right? We got a lot of good things. Marcy, make sure you do that for me, all right?
I will.
Cool. Anyway, that's it, y'all. This is the week. Now, I don't know if anybody going to do anything tomorrow. We've offered twice. One of them is going to be next Friday, but we've offered. Just talk to your guy if he wants to run through. Let's run through.
Okay.
That's all the behind the scenes y'all going to get. It's Dope Living TV Live. We'll see you guys.
Peace.
Night. Have a great weekend.
Good night, guys.
Later, y'all.